Hi guys, I'm Amir.
Kris.
EJ.
Cortnee. My head was...
And welcome to Cake News. I'm your lead anchor, Amir, and this is Stan. And today we'll be talking about some breaking news in Puerto Rico. But first, here's the weather with Ijota Reyes.
Amir. Now for today's weather here in Dili City, it's kind of sunny and no chance of clouds or no chance of rains. Anyways, back to you, Amir. Thank you.
Thank you, EJ. And now a moment of silence for our mayor, Ed Lee, who has just passed away from a heart attack this evening. Now, the city's Board of Supervisors, London Breed, will be taking his spot as mayor in San Francisco for the time being. Thank you. Stan, what do you think of all these hurricanes in Puerto Rico? Really? Thank you. And now from Kris, live in Puerto Rico.
Thank you, Amir. Puerto Rico has been struggling through the aftermath of Hurricanes Maria and Irma. Citizens were left with nothing but destruction. 3-story high mountains of debris and garbage have been piling up, as well as major power outages. This chaos has been going on for 2 months after the latest Hurricane Maria has happened. Puerto Rico is in major need of help. Instead of the United States helping Puerto Rico, they bleed them dry with no money to rebuild, due to Puerto Rico being in debt to the United States, which goes way back. This is Cake News, and back to you, Amir.
Thank you, Kris. And now it's 9:30 in the morning. And now here's one of the biggest questions everybody is wondering. What happened between the United States and Puerto Rico? Next time on KNNT News.
Thank you, Amir. My name is EJ Reyes, and I'm your weatherman and reporter here at Puerto Rico. Now, the Puerto Ricans demand the Jones Act to be repealed or not be there anymore because the U.S. isn't really helping a lot, but instead using their own downfall for their own advantage.
Thank you, EJ. And now we're here with Kris to fill us in with further information about the destruction in Puerto Rico.
I'm here with Puerto Rican citizen,
Jorge?
and if it's okay with you, I'd like to ask you some questions.
Sure.
How is the community adjusting to the devastation of the hurricanes?
Well, us as a community, we're all getting together to clean up the files, trashes, and trying to clear out room just to make more things organized around our area.
Do you think the United States will help the people and its buildings?
Well, I sure hope so because right now Puerto Rico is a big mess.
What are you guys doing to help boost spirits up around your communities?
Well, we as a community, again, we make like a schedule of who cleans what and where, and to keep like kids calm and stuff, we give them little activities to do while like helping us out cleaning the destruction from the hurricanes.
Thank you, Jorge. Back to you, Amir.
Thank you, Kris. And now my new side anchorman, Jonas, is here. And now we have Cortnee in Puerto Rico talking to one of the citizens of what they think of the Jones Act with the United States government.
Thank you, Amir. I'm here in Puerto Rico discussing and asking fellow citizens about what they think about the situation between U.S. and Puerto Rico. Here we have Jose Guave.
Hello.
Hello, Jose. What do you think about what's happening here in Puerto Rico?
To be really honest with you, I don't really know, but I heard through the townspeople here that the U.S. are just here to take advantage of us. They just stay here just to control our harbors and take over our islands with lots of power. But then other than that, even though they're here, they're not really helping us after the hurricane.
Do you think that the U.S. should do more about aftermath of Hurricane Maria?
Yes, I think they should, because if they're staying here in our country and our islands, they should help us out.
All right, thank you for that, Jose. Wish of luck to you and your family.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Thank you, Cortnee. In other news, we spoke to one historian who tells us the history between PR and the U.S. Here's Kyle Pastillas. Hi, Kyle. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How about you, Amir?
I'm doing good. Welcome to Cake News.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, we're very happy to have you here. So can you tell us the brief history between the U.S. and Puerto Rico?
Of course I can. Well, in the late 1900s, after the Spanish-American War, the Spain ceded Puerto Rico to the Americans, thus making the U.S. a dominant power over Puerto Rico. Even though Puerto Rico is not U.S. territory, the citizens and the residents that lives there, they're not citizens of
Really?
the U.S. Yes, they can.
Wow.
From this, it benefits the U.S. politicians who disapprove of Puerto Rican immigration to the U.S. The U.S. government carried out plans to treat malaria and other diseases. Then after that, the government decided to give more jobs by making roads, restore harbors, and make irrigation projects. By 1917, the Congress passed the Jones Act, which allowed the residents of Puerto Rico citizenship, and after that, about 1,700 Puerto Ricans served in the U.S. military.
Well, when and how is it appropriate to use power, do you think?
Well, the U.S. used its power after the Spanish-American War in Puerto Rico because of bigger trade routes, entrance to the Panama Canal, and creating naval stations for U.S. bases.
Oh. Well, now why was Puerto Rico so important to the U.S.?
The U.S. saw Puerto Rico as a good place for cheap labor, which made the U.S. businesses invest heavily in the territory, taking advantage of low wages and cheap products. After 30 years, Puerto Ricans weren't happy about the U.S. taking advantage of this. And from that, it limited their freedom, and the system was owned by lots of foreign countries.
Mm-hmm. And what is the relationship between the two today?
Today, U.S. government isn't really helping the Puerto Rican residents from the aftermath of the hurricane. Trump administrations, however, are suspending the Jones Act for a year to expand access to oil, food, and other supplies. And that's all I can say. Thank you for having me here, Amir.
Well, thank you, Kyle, for filling us up with all this information.
You're welcome, bro.
And this is Kick News, and I'm Amir Bushi, and we'll be back. And we're back. Time now is 10 o'clock, and following the aftermath of the Hurricane Maria, Puerto Rico suffers under lots of debt, and almost all of them were from the United States. Trump stated that Puerto Rico is to solve and repay their own debts and their trouble. Overall, today, Puerto Rico is not looking very well, while the U.S. isn't doing anything against it. On the bright side, there's one person that is looking forward into helping pay the debts of Puerto Rico. And now to Cortnee to fill us in with further information. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir. As you all may know, Puerto Rico has been struggling with debts after the hurricane, but Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren wants to do something about it. They proposed a bill of $146 billion Marshall Plan to help and repair the storms ravaged economies in Puerto Rico. It can be achieved by relieving the territories which has lots of debts and investing heavily in low carbon, storm resilient economic development. Even though there's lots of downfall, there's still hope for the Puerto Rican residents. Back to you, Amir.
And thanks, guys, for tuning in with Cake News. I'm your lead anchorman, Amir Bushi. And special thanks to Kris, Cortnee, and EJ for being on the show with us. Now, tune in with us tomorrow at same time, where we'll be talking about Trump and connections with Russia. Thank you.